Hello lovelies, I hope you are having a wonderful day and welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to be unboxing, swatching and comparing the ShinHan Touch Twin markers with the Copic and Winsor Newton markers. I actually bought these a while ago with my Christmas money. I had seen people using them on YouTube here and there and was super curious as they seem to be very similar to Copics. I wanted to see if they could be a cheaper alternative to Copic markers, which are so expensive. I purchased the Touch Twin Skin Set A and the Touch Twin Brush Marker 60 Set A, which was a silly mistake because I had duplicates which I actually gave away to a friend. So yeah, the skin tone set comes in a 6-pack or a 12-pack. I bought the 12-pack, which comes in a clear case similar to the Copics, only fatter. It also doesn't have those ridges in between the markers at the bottom of the case, which keeps the markers standing. It is me being super picky, but when you take a marker out, the rest sort of fall over, which is annoying. But yeah, that's just me being super picky. The marker itself is actually quite nice. It is rectangular in comparison to the Copics. The text is printed on one side of the barrel like the Copics and has a brush nib and chisel nib drawn on it and written to make it easier to find which side is which. They also have a grey line similar to how the Copics brush side does, so you can tell them apart. There is also a sticker on the other side and the numbering printed on it. The markers have a square top with the name of the marker and the numbering printed on it. The Copic text is larger and easier to read on the lid. It also looks like it's embossed or engraved on the lid. The colours of the tops also seem to be quite similar to the actual colours of the markers. The text is actually very small and you may find it difficult to read. I also have noticed it has started to fade on some of my markers, which is annoying. It makes it harder to repurchase the same colour or the refill. The numbering system also seems kind of random. The cap is on very nicely and I don't have that feeling that it is going to fall off in my bag, which I do worry about with the Winsor Newton brush markers and pro markers. The names of these markers are the same as Copics, such as skin white, light orange and more, but Copic have changed some of the markers' names, such as skin white to cotton pearl, and E21, which is baby skin pink, but I think it's soft sun and something like that. I actually swatched and compared the skin tones in this video to see if the colours were similar. I love the colours of the skin tones, but I feel like they are very similar and there aren't many darker shades, but I have only tried the markers I got in these sets, so that could be why. And before I forget, while I was actually swatching these markers, I realized that there was one marker that was super dry, old red I think it was, and yeah, that was annoying. And also there was a duplicate in the skin tone set. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to be, but there was also one duplicate in the 60 set. I just don't remember which one. I think it was medium pink or blush, one of those two. I also did the blending test to see how well these colours would blend, and I just chose blues and pinks, although the red violet, the RVs of the Copics, I don't know, they're just weird colours, but they seem to blend really nicely. I tested them on printer paper and the mixed media Canson paper to see how they would blend, and both all three markers blended really nicely. It's just that the Copics I found were the easiest to blend. The ink did bleed out on the papers, but I was actually adding a lot of ink and blending over and over. That's why. The brush tip on this marker is squishy, but not as squishy as the Winsor Newton brush markers. I was actually pretty hesitant when using these markers since they are so juicy. I was scared that I might drop a huge blob of ink somewhere, but fortunately that didn't happen. The brush has this weird thing where it actually kind of sticks to the paper. I don't know how to explain it. Almost like when a marker is drying out, but the marker is juicy still. The brush is actually very similar to the Copics, minus the sticking part and the slight squishiness. The chisel tip is longer but a lot like the Copic one. The brushes are interchangeable and you can refill these markers too. So price wise, the single marker, the ShinHan Touch Twin single marker is £3 on jacksonart.com, I think, and $5.99 on Markerpop, whereas the Copic Ciao marker costs £2.49 and the Sketch marker costs £4.39 on the Cult Pens website. The Ciao costs $3.59 and the Sketch costs $5.24 on the Dick Blick website. So the marker isn't cheaper in this case. The Copic, actually the single marker is cheaper in comparison to the Sketch marker, but the Ciao marker is actually slightly cheaper. As for the 12-pack skin set A costs £32.99 on Amazon and £51.74 on Markerpop, in comparison to the Copic skin set, which costs £27.96. That is the Ciao markers, and the Sketch skin set costs £63.75 on Amazon. I could only find the 6-pack of the skin set on the US Amazon website for $39.97, but you can see the touch markers seem to be more expensive. In the sets, they do seem to cost more, which is kind of weird. And finally, for the 60 set, a ShinHan Touch Twin marker, they cost £152 on Jackson Art website and $271.92 on the Dick Blick website. The Copics are sold in the 72 sets, and the Ciao set A costs £167.96 and the Sketch set costs £301.94. The 72 Ciao set costs $258.48 on the Dick Blick website. Again, not as much difference in price in comparison to the Ciao markers. The refills of the ShinHan Touch Twin markers cost £3 on Jackson Art and $5.99 on Markerpop, and are 20 milliliters, which according to the ShinHan website can refill an empty marker 7 to 8 times. The Copic refill costs $5.95 on Cult Pens and $4.73 on the Dick Blick website, and are 25 milliliters. The Copic refill can fill a Ciao marker 13 times and a sketch marker 8 to 10 times. At the end of the day, I think it is up to personal preference and availability of the markers. I personally prefer the Copic markers in comparison to the ShinHan Touch Twin, but that's not to say that I won't use them, because I did have a lot of fun playing around with them. I tested these markers together and I was much more comfortable with the Copic brush tip, while the touch brush took a little time to get used to. They both blend pretty nicely since they are both alcohol markers, but I think I found it more difficult because I was hesitant with these markers and tried not to be too careless with my marks, whereas with the Copics I was just, yeah, I love my Copics. I coloured these little heads I drew and tried to choose similar colours to make it fair. I had a lot of fun trying these markers out and I think these markers are good quality, but if you're new to markers, I would recommend trying out a less expensive set, such as the Winsor Newton markers, or perhaps the Spectrum Noir. I also tested the Winsor Newton Pro markers, which blended really nicely considering I used the bullet nib. I hope you enjoyed this video, and all the links will be in the description section below, so if you're interested you can check that out. And also I'll leave all of my social media links below. I'm actually more active now on my Instagram, so if you want to follow me on there, that would be awesome. And I actually post stories almost daily now, all of the links to all of the markers, everything, in case you want to check that out. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And if you've tried these markers, I would love to know what you think of them. I hope you have a lovely day. Keep drawing, you are awesome, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!